Welcome back to the Sticker channel, and today's video is we're talking about my Sika hunt. We went to Dave Richmond and myself from Whitetail Obsession. We went down to the eastern shore of Maryland to the Blackwater refuge, and in search of the elusive Sika stag. And it was a success. And for the folks that are subscribed to the channel, Sunday's live came out, our podcast I should say, it came out, and for those of you that did not want to watch an hour-long podcast, I'll give you a shorter version now of the events that happened in this successful hunt. So Wednesday night I drove down, met Dave at his parents' house. We unpacked my vehicle, packed his vehicle, drove an hour and a half down to the hotel down there that we were staying in, and we pretty much unloaded and hit the sack. Early in the morning, we got up at 3 a.m. every morning for these hunts, and down there at the refuge you were not allowed through the gates 3 hours before daylight, so we had to look at our apps and see what time the sunrise was going to be, and then subtract 3 hours, and that's when we could go through the gate. For example, the first day we could get through the gate, sunup was 7:16, so we went through the gate at 4:16. So we would get through the gate, we would get everything unloaded. He had an e-bike, I had a mountain bike, which I do not recommend doing. If you're going to do this type of hunt, get yourself an e-bike. It was tough. So anyhow, that first day we had a special permit. They only let I think 30 hunters into that area that we were hunting, so it was a mad dash. Everybody came through the gate, unloaded, and zipped off on their bicycles trying to get to where they wanted to be. And me pedaling, it was kind of warm out anyhow, so we were pretty much drenched when we get there, sweaty. It was at least 1.25 miles. I think Dave said maybe 1.5 miles, somewhere between 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles bicycle ride through a pine forest on a mountain bike loaded down. And I had a pack and everything on my back. I had my standing sticks on a rack on my bicycle that I had built a rack for it, and the gun slung over my shoulder. So it was a pretty brutal ride in. We get there, we get up in a tree, and previous to this, Dave sent me the Huntstand. He dropped some pins for me, some possible places to go sit, because he went down in September and scouted around a little bit. And so here I am going into an area totally blind, never been there before. I'm going in the dark, following an app. So I get in to where I'm supposed to be, and pretty much where he dropped that pin, there was a guy in a tree. So there's people walking by me in the dark. I didn't know which direction to go, never been there before. So there was an outcropping of trees, and out in the middle of the field there's a big clear cut that we were hunting on the edge of the frag, which is the swamp down there, and these deer like to live in that swamp. So I just set up in that outcropping of trees, and my first experience was at first light. A spike Sika came out underneath me there and was fed on by, and I was able to take some pictures of it and things, and I thought that was pretty cool, my first sighting, and I decided to pass it. It was a legal specimen, I believe. I think Dave said 3 inches. Spikes would be 3 inches or larger would be legal, but I decided I would like to go for something larger, so I let that thing walk. Why then? About 7:52 or so that first morning, it was a Thursday morning, and about 7:52 there, I looked to my left and I saw a large set of antlers going across over top of the grass there, because the grass was about waist high on us. So those critters are pretty small. They're smaller than a whitetail. So you have little bit of an issue seeing them. But with their heads above the grass, I could see a rack coming, and so I got ready, got turned around, and I never did was able to get a shot at this thing. When I could see its body, it was in between some branches of the tree behind me, and the majority of the time that I had an eyeball on it, it was just in high grass, and it was an unethical shot to try to shoot through that type of stuff. So I had to watch that one walk out of my life. So I had seen 2 males the first day. We do all day sits from 5:30 in the morning, about the time we would get up in a tree, and soaking wet, sweaty, freezing, and I sit all day from 5:30 in the morning till 7 at night. So I saw 2. Dave seen Zip where he went. He did manage to see a white-tailed doe, which was kind of odd down there to see whitetails in that area, but he did see a white-tailed doe that day. So day 2, we get up, we go out, same thing all over again. We meet at the gate, and you're not allowed to go through the gate until 3 hours before. So we looked at the app. I think it was 4:17 that morning. We zipped through the gate. We get in there, and there was a lot less people there. This was a Friday morning, and we thought it was going to be even more packed, because then it's open to all the public then after the first day. And we were pleasantly surprised that there wasn't a large amount of people there. So we go ahead, unpack, we bicycle back to the area, and there was only one other guy that came back to the clear cut with us, and he only stayed, I think he said he only stayed till 9:30 or something like that. So anyhow, I'm trying to think. Dave came in the clear cut with me, and we were set up about 100. Well, no, that first thing in the morning, he was about 300 yards further than I went. He walked out in front of me some and set up, and we could not see each other. And I told him there was this corner that stuck out into the clear cut, and I said I wanted to be out on that corner, because that's where I saw that 4-point the day before, and I thought maybe I would catch something coming around that corner again. So I set up there, and about 10:30 in the morning, I guess it was 10:30, quarter to 11 on Friday morning there, why I saw a large rack coming across the high grass. It was out at about, I don't know, 150 yards at first, and it was coming and coming, and I thought, man, that's too far to shoot. And well, it kept coming. Well, then it turned and was coming right at me, and I was like, oh boy, this is going to happen. So it was going to come parallel to me, and the woods line was here, and the deer was coming towards the woods line, and the way diagonally it was coming right to me there, I was going to probably get about a 50 or 60 yard shot. And the terrain's so up and down there, it would drop down into something, I would lose sight, and it would pop up and I would see it, and then it was walking between little pine trees and things, and I'll have a clip here of the terrain that is in the area. So it's going up and down all these dips and things, and it shows itself. And like I said, I'm going to get about a 50 to 60 yard shot. And there was 2 pine trees right before the edge of the woods, and I thought, man, I'm going to miss my opportunity if I don't take this really quick. So I just put the scope in between the 2 pine trees. They were about 5 feet apart or so. And when the deer walked between the 2 trees, I hurried up and got on it and pulled the trigger. Now down there's a steady breeze. Usually when you shoot an inline or a muzzleloader, you get that big blast of smoke. You can't see anything. You don't know what you hit. Well, that steady wind, when I shot, instantly blew away my smoke. but I still didn't see what happened. And as far as I know, nothing happened. I mean, I did not see a deer run. I did not hear a deer get into the woods and run through the woods. I did not necessarily see it drop, but absolutely nothing happened at that point. So I thought, okay, I must have dropped this thing. So I reload the gun in the stand, and Dave texts me, hey, did you shoot? I had one word answer, yes. He says, well, what was it? And I said, well, I believe it was either a 5 or a 6 point. And he says, I'm on my way. So I get down, and I start to walk over there, and the grass, like I said, is so high, and you practically step on the thing, get into it before you find it. And when I got within like 10 feet of it, I seen something shuffle in the grass, and it was its rack, and his head was going a little bit. Well, here I had hit it. I made a good shot into the rib cage on one side, and below the other leg it came out, but he was still alive, believe it or not. And I got over to him, and the darn thing stood up and whirled around and tried to run off on me. And luckily, like I said, I had reloaded, and I just whipped the gun up, and it was on like 4 power or something. But when I seen the brown in the scope, I pulled the trigger, and boom, and it dropped instantly. And at that distance, it was probably like 15-20 feet, literally. And here, that shot had hit the spine, and the bullet ricocheted down through the animal and came out like down in the elbow of the rear leg. And I actually found that bullet in the hide. So I did have to finish it that way. So I've got this nice stag down, and Dave shows up and he's like, dude, you shot a monster stag. I'm like, what, really? I had no idea. I'd never hunted them before. He's like, man, this thing's nice, you know. So we did a little celebration dance there, and we got out the Coolabuck game bags, put them babies, got them babies out and got them ready, and we started skinning this guy, and we had our outdoor edge knives, and we just opened them up, and we flopped the skin out, and we started quartering them up and dropping meat down into the game bags, and truly these bags work, because us and the carcass was covered in bugs and insects and things, you know, flies, and we was dropping the meat in these bags, and there was not a bug on the bag at all. And they're treated with a substance that will deter bacteria growth. So these things are good to have around. You can find them at your Cabela's or straight from Coolabuck, or some of your finer stores around carry them. Check them out and get a hold of those things if you're out quartering up animals. So anyhow, we get that all finished. Dave has a tree stand that the seat folds down, so when he puts it on his back, it's like a pack, and it has like a shelf there. So I loaded his makeshift pack. We loaded his pack all up, and I'll have pictures of that in too. Loaded his pack all up, and he packed it out for me. He walked it out, went to his electric bicycle, and he motored it down to the truck, got in the truck, went to the hotel, put it in a cooler, went and got ice. He showered, he ate lunch, he came back within like a 2-hour span. But the crazy thing was, while he was gone, I seen 4 more animals while he was gone. I saw 2 spikes chasing a doe that was hot, and about 5 minutes after they went through, this 4-point was in behind me, and it came and was bird dogging the trail that they had just went down obviously she was so hot that he had smelled her and picked up the trail and followed them through the field. And I have video of that also. So I told him when he got back, I'm like, dude, get in your tree, man. Get in a tree, hurry, man. They're moving. I just seen 4 while he was gone. He's like, get out of here. I said, yeah. I said, the one I shot and 3 other stags and this female. I said, you need to get up in the tree quick, Well, that was, like I said, Friday, and we was watching the weather, and it was supposed to rain right towards dark. Well, that storm rolled in a little quicker than we thought. We got pinned in the trees, and it started pouring. So we did our best to get out of there. We got soaked to the bone. It poured while we took down our stands. See, down in Maryland, you're not allowed to keep your stands up. You have to take everything down every night. So we had to wrap up our sticks and our stands and pack out and ride bicycles through the rain. We were totally soaked. So bad that we went back to the hotel and they had a dryer and we had to put our clothes in a dryer. So that was our night there. We got up on Saturday morning. We did it all again. Went through the gate at 4:18. We hunted till we had to get out of the hotel at 11. So we hunted till 9 o'clock. We got down. We went back to the hotel, and we got out of there. Got the truck all packed up, and the original plan was we was going to go back out and hunt the evening, but we did not. Dave decided to throw in the towel. We'd had enough, and he really wasn't seeing that many animals, so he just said, let's just go home. Now, I was able to shoot this nice trophy stag. I was able to also shoot 2 does with my tags that I had, but I did not choose to do so. Friday night there before it rained, I did see a hind and its baby and a spike, and they came out like 15 yards below me. Now I had a couple opportunities to shoot some of those females, and I chose not to. One of the reasons why, first of all, Dave packed out my first one. I thought he would kill me if I shot another one. He had to pack it out. But the other reason was I thought that it was kind of silly to shoot one of those females. They are so small. I mean, I'm talking like 50 pounds, 60 max, maybe. And I thought, man, shoot one of these suckers, are going to be half guts and half bone, and you're not going to get much out of it. So I just chose not to do it. I just thought it was a silly situation. The stag that I shot was so big, and there's pictures in the video here, that it was almost as big as a whitetail. I mean, so, but their body structure is a lot different. Their body structure is kind of like a freaking goat. And when you butcher them, they're kind of like a goat too. Like the back straps on a deer are like 4 feet long from neck to tailbone. You can pull out a big long back strap. These back straps on this Sika was like 2 feet long. It was just like real short. I mean, the thing resembled more of a goat than it does deer. I don't know. But anyhow, pretty neat adventure. If I do it again, I'm gonna have to have an e-bike and maybe a more comfortable seat cushion from my stand. But I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever do it again or not. If I do, like I said, I'll need those things. But I'd like to thank Dave for doing the scouting and packing out the deer and making the arrangements at the hotel and everything. He did a good job at getting this do-it-yourself hunt all together. Like to thank Limit Shield Odor Control Products. Dave and I both used their products, and it was mandatory to have something like that on this trip because, like I said, our bicycle ride in, the mile and a quarter, mile and a half, whatever it was, I'm pedaling in 60-degree weather. I was soaked when I got, so I used their products before we went hunting. So, you know, I got clean, used their products, and that prevents you from growing odor. So their products was a must for a hunt like this. And I like to thank Brad Lockwood and Kula Buck for the game bags, and we put those babies to use. So, you know, I thank everybody for watching this. It's not like your typical video. I did not get the kill on video. Hey, shoot first, film second. I'm not going to pass up a trophy ever. So, didn't get it on video. Sorry about that. But I got a little bit of footage in this video for you to see what the terrain was like and what the animal looks like. And then, of course, the trophy pictures. So, stick around with me. I'm still hunting them whitetails. I'm trying to hold out for a good one. My #1 hit lister was killed by a little girl with a crossbow across the road from where I hunt. I'm not bitter. I'm glad it was a little girl. I mean, that was pretty cool. Rather than someone else, I mean, you know, I'm happy for her. Not a big deal. But I hope a couple of my other hit listers come along. So, thanks for listening to me babble. Leave a comment below. What do you think about these Sika deer? Would you ever do it yourself hunt like that in a wet environment, a swampy area? The mosquitoes were horrible. Had a thermocell running. Let me know what you think about a hunt like this. Comment below. If you're not subscribed, get in, subscribe. I'm real close to my 1,000. At 1,000, I'm going to be giving away a special one-off knife. It might be a Kershaw knife. I got a guy that does laser etching. I'm going to get the blade etched. It'll be a one-off special city sticker knife. So get in, subscribe on that. I will be making a video inviting people soon to get in on that giveaway. So thanks for watching. Stick with me. Hopefully I got a good whitetail video coming for you soon. We'll see you guys.